Hey there. So today we have something really special for you. Today we have some insider baseball with none other than one Dan Frega. He's going to tell us a little bit about a certain Aquaman starlet, let's say. So, hey Dan, you want to introduce yourself, man?
Yeah, man. How you doing, Tug? Thanks for having me on. My name is Frega Boom. I'm a director, comic book artist. Been working in this business for about 30 years. 20 in the Hollywood side of things, TV shows, animation, movies, and the like. Still doing it today.
That's a lot. That's a lot of inside baseball I'm sure you have, period. Not just on one person,
Yeah.
but quite a bit.
I've seen a lot of things, man. Seen a lot of things.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were telling an interesting story once. We'd all gotten together. It was myself, Yellow Flash, and I don't remember a few other people. And you were talking about, Hollywood, some of the stuff that
Yeah.
had gone around, and you brought up a certain Aquaman starlet. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have no problem reiterating the story because even before all of this craziness with Johnny Depp and the trial was going down, I had this starlet's number way before she was even a big star. One of my friends, this was back in 2008, we were making some music on the side, and he was in this movie that was filmed in 2008 that he co-starred with her, and they had what you call a location ship. A location ship is a very convenient relationship that happens during when movies are shot. They happen a lot of times. They keep them under wraps, but he told my buddy and me about this girl and how insane she was, and her biggest issue was that she had a nose candy problem, and it made her even crazier. And so anyhow, I said, "Man, how'd that go?" He said, "Not with her anymore. She was bananas, too much for me," and left it at that. And here we are. Here we are, 14 years later, and she's all over the news.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is part of her trial, she is denied the nose candy thing adamantly, like not just having addiction, not using. She's not a user. She doesn't like it at all. Do you find that kind of interesting?
I find it to be complete whole cloth lies. That's the thing. Watching some of the trial, you see and hear accounts of things, and they sound about right. And then she goes on stands and gives her account of things, and they just seem like fabrications. She's not even that good of an actor, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, starting out before running into Johnny Depp. I mean,
Yeah.
her resume. She even had agreed to her resume not being much of a resume before that.
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, that's the thing is, the way the system works. It's like anything. There's the upstanding citizen way of doing things. That's the way I try to do things. I see a lot of that around, and those are the people I work with. I've only encountered personally some salacious stuff a few times, but I know it exists, and everybody's story is different, and you can watch accounts of Hollywood in the early days, 20s and 30s, with these crazy stories that pop off far after the stars' deaths, and now with media and the way things spread, we're getting it as it happens.
Yeah, it's interesting to see it unfiltered without the media presence in it. They're not the ones that are orbiting truth anymore. We get to decide what is or isn't real, and it's fascinating because people like yourself. There's I've talked to three people so far. Three people that will. There's some people that won't go on record, of course, because they're afraid
Yeah,
of what it'll do to their career now. But like people
sure.
like yourself, it's a common tale out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the stuff that's obvious is obvious. You get stories of stars that you know when you hear about it officially, the whispers had always been there. And I have a few buddies you had mentioned earlier about this career being long and seeing a lot of stuff. I have, and 20 years ago, I had some buddies that were pop stars, top of the world, biggest stars in the world. Like literally, their faces were everywhere on magazines, on fast food commercials, everything. And I'm with my buddy, and he wants to go check out the tabloids. I said, "Why are you checking those out, man? It's a bunch of BS." He said, "Nah, bro. This is," because you'd be surprised how much of this is actually fact. I look at these just to see what they know and what they don't know. So it's interesting. And now, of course, rumors get shoved in the forefront quite easily and verified. So when you get someone like this former Aquaman star lying straightforwardly, there's just too much. There's just too much. It's like the Jesse Smollett stuff. The truth shall set you free.
Indeed. Well, the truth didn't set him free, actually, though. The truth, the truth did the opposite for him. And maybe, what we're hearing about places like Australia, from what I hear, after this trial, we may see some stuff about the truth not setting her free. UK, same way. A little thing people don't understand a lot called perjury. So
yeah, well, that's
getting up there.
The freedom that is going to happen is to the person who needs the justice the most. My favorite movie of all time is Shawshank Redemption. Mm-hmm. All Andy Dufresne wanted is to be free. He any sort of wrongdoings he may have done in life, he paid the cost, but he was free. And in this particular case, you have someone spreading whole cloth lies about somebody and damaging their career, and it's good to see justice. It's good to see justice paid.
Well, it's interesting you bring up Shawshank Redemption too. The one thing that Andy Dufresne had in his past there was substance abuse, and they used it against him, and it's they blamed him for a lot of other things based off substance abuse.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, that's that. I've always had this adage that no happy ending started with cocaine.
Right. Well, indeed. It's amazing to see somebody that has their own substance abuse demons pointing a finger at someone else and saying their substance abuse demons, they matter, but please ignore me because I don't really have any.
Well, that's unfortunate when someone is living in that world. I think having the capacity for empathy is getting more and more rare these days. And some people, like the person we're discussing, I think lacks it completely and has a narcissistic point of view to the point where she can't see her fact from fiction when she speaks it.
Well, it's interesting, like you said too. With the rumors out there, there were a lot of before she made these claims. There were a lot of things that were out there that talked about her, and many of those were verifiable. And those claims shut it all down. It redirected it. It's amazing what the power of words are now versus the power of reality, like the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, take the Joan Crawford story, right? Joan Crawford was beloved, and then you get Mommy Dearest, and you find out like, man, the truth behind this stuff is incredibly sad, and in this case, I believe the same thing. Nobody's perfect in this world, but I would not take my own imperfections and impose them upon another person to cause them harm. You got to own that.
Yeah, I mean, I think more people should actually live life by that. You want to introduce your project really quick too, because I definitely.
Oh, my project, man. Yeah, I'm working on a book called Black Flag. It's available on Indiegogo. Also working on building the YouTube channel. You can see it right here. It's Fragaboom. You can find me on Twitter under Couch Doodles. But yeah, man, I spend my days drawing and watching you and your commentary on the trial. It's really interesting to watch, and really appreciate you having me here.
Ain't no problem. Yeah, and I like just same with Dan Frege here too. Like this is somebody that I've known, I've met in real life and everything else. So again,
That was cool.
I know, yeah, man. I mean, it's not it's not just someone that would be like, oh, here's something I heard. No, man, you
Yeah.
take that stuff seriously when you put it out there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, that, I'm not one to spread rumors at all. I only know things from the horse's mouth, and like I said, in this particular case, with the subject we're talking about, this is firsthand knowledge from the source.
Yeah, and I mean, use that right there. All right, man. You got anything else you want to add, or we'll end it right here?
No, man. No.
All right, brother.
Not at
Well,
all.
like I said, I appreciate you. I wanted to get you on record talking about that. All right.
Awesome,
I'm gonna,
man.